All right, today we're going to look at Luke 21. And what we're going to realize is that real giving begins with sacrifice. Look what Jesus says. Luke 21, verse 1. Jesus looked up and saw the rich putting their gifts into the offering box. Jesus is watching as the offering plate is going around. That's convicting, isn't it? And he sees these rich people putting in all kinds of money, and you didn't even have to watch it. You could hear it because it'd be like clang, all these coins, a bunch of pennies, going in the offering box. And they're pretty proud of the sound that it made. And then the Bible says, and he saw a poor widow put in 2 coins. And he said, "Truly, I tell you, this widow has put in more than all of them. For they contributed out of their abundance, but she out of her poverty, what she had to live on." What Jesus tells us here is what real giving looks like. And the key word is sacrifice. You have to sacrifice to give to God. If you remember, the first thing the Bible tells us about giving, it's Cain and Abel. They bring their offering to God. And Abel brings the best of the best of the best. And God says, "This is how I like it." Cain just brings some fruit. And God says, "This isn't acceptable." And Cain says, "You have to take it. I'm giving you the offering." God says, "No, I don't. I don't receive it." And he's teaching us that it has to cost us something. These rich people who gave, they didn't have to sacrifice anything. Their lifestyle remained the same. But this woman, this is what she had to live on. This was going to affect the meal she would eat later that night. Or maybe she wouldn't even have a meal. David, when he was going to make an offering to God, he wanted to buy a field and give it to God. And someone says, "Well, I just want to give you the field." He says, "No way. How can I offer to God that which costs me nothing?" Here's the question. What have you had to give up to make an offering to God this week? Or this month? Or this year? In what way did your lifestyle change because you said, "You know what? I want to give this to God"? Did you get rid of your cable TV or your lawn service? Or did you have to sacrifice something? Not eat in a certain place and eat over here instead because you said, "I want to give to God"? And you might be saying, "Man, all this talk about sacrifice, I don't like this. I mean, I feel like I'm losing something." Consider this. Jesus sacrificed everything for you. He died on a cross for you. A meal? Is that too much to offer to God? A certain thing in your lifestyle that you like, is that too much to give to Him? I want to show you 3 things you get when you give to God. When you sacrifice, and it costs you something, here's what you get. You get His presence. A special sense of His presence. Number 2, you get His favor. Can you imagine Jesus saying, when the offering plate goes around or you give to God and so on, He's like, "Wow, now that is awesome." That's what He did with this widow. What if that was you? To get that special sense of His favor. The last thing you get the provision of God. Instead of you providing for yourself and you taking what you need, you say, "God, I'm going to give to you and I'm going to trust you to provide." That is the greatest meal you'll ever eat, when God provides. Here's the question. What have you sacrificed to give to God? That is where your real giving begins.